short. Um, Basically, I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, a place called Coral Springs in South Florida, and as you know, there was a huge death metal scene happening in Tampa in the early 90s. I became part of that. It was basically my lifestyle, all my friends, we all played music, and by the time I was 16, I tried to start my own band. So I was basically the driving force of any of the projects I was in. 10 years later, by the time I was 26, 27, I kind of had enough of the local scene. I was in a band at the time called Face Eater. It was like a industrial metal type thing. And we played as many shows as you could possibly play in as a local band. I got offered the guitar position for the band called Wicked Witch. They were on Demolition Records, and they were coming out of California, and there was a female singer, and they were kind of like a symphonic black metal thing. And honestly, it sounded kind of corny to me, so I turned it down at first, and then I found out that she was, the singer, happened to be a female, was paying to go on tour with bands. It's called buy on. You basically buy on if you have a lot of money, and she had a lot of money. So they told me the first tour was Sodom, Destruction, and Creator, and I said, sign me up. By the time Malevolent Creation asked me to join their fold, I already had that tour experience, and now I was playing for one of my favorite bands ever with one of my favorite people, singer Brett Hoffman, rest in peace, buddy. That was the beginning stages of doing my own side project, because I always tried to join bands that were successful, and I never made a successful band on my own. I always joined pre-existing bands that were on labels, and so I tried to put out my own project. It was called The Evil Admits. Me, a friend Lenny Warmbrandt, who sang, and Gus Rios, the drummer for Gruesome, and for Malevolent back in the day. He's actually the one who got me in the band. On it, basically, we put out a 10-song album that was going to be released. We had record company interest. I decided to can it because I had prior engagements with touring with Malevolent. So after exiting Malevolent Creation in around 2015, I got a hold of those tracks, remixed, remastered, did some revisions on them, and released it as Dawn of Solitude. I wanted to release it on the new name to have some traction when we start writing new material. And to me, that's what this project's all about, is writing new material. Starting a project with the goal being writing great material, and not so much focused on the rock star record label aspect of things. I'm more focused on the music. I made those mistakes in the past where I would start off with my spirit and soul into the project I was working on, and then by the time you get to your third or fourth song, you're like, wait a minute, what record label are we on? Wait a minute, who else can we get in the band that has a bigger name? Wait a minute, it's like all of these other things come into play, and they distract you from what you were originally focused on, which was good songwriting. Well, it's a crazy time in the world right now, so I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do. We have a new single coming out on Nobel Media called Halcyon Tides, and it's going to be out August 12th, iTunes, Pandora, and Spotify. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.